So let's go to Dakota's question. It says, when me and my fiance think about the 25% rule for buying our first home, should we include things like bonuses, shift differentials, or extra pay in our gross income, or should we be really conservative and just go base pay? Man, how should you think about this?
Well, here's what I want to say to you, Dakota. I'd love, one, kudos to you and your fiance for having this conversation instead of just rushing in, thinking through affordability, because we know that homes over the last couple of years have reached in terms of like historic affordability, they are not incredibly affordable relative to history. And so good on you guys for like thinking through, how do we approach this? How do we do it well? The way that I'll answer your question is, of course, we would love for you to be conservative. We'd love to say, okay, let's just, only count the eggs that have hatched. Only count the things that you know, the bird that's in your hand right now. And that's going to put you in a good spot. Unfortunately, when it comes to housing right now, that might be difficult. And so it may make sense if you work at a job where you know there's a high probability of a bonus at the end of the year, that you factor that in. Or if you know that you're going to work harder so that there is a shift differential so that you do get paid overtime. I don't think it's crazy to include those, but I want to caution you against getting too aggressive. Because if what you do is you work 22 hours a day, every single day, to get your income as high as possible, to get the affordability to where you can finally afford the house, what you've done is you've set yourself up that you have to stay at that pace. You have to live at that level. You have to stay at that clip, and that might not be sustainable. So I would say, in the ideal world, be as conservative as you can. That would be kind of like the ideal. But if you do have to pull in some of these other income sources that seem highly likely, highly probable, and realistic, I don't think that that's crazy, because it is a wild world that we live in right now.
Yeah, but think about this. I think about what I've done in my own life. First of all, let me give you and you already know this because based on the way you asked, but this is going to get turned into a highlight, and I want to make sure everybody gets to maximize their opportunity. You know, the first home purchase, we already give you a lot of grace. Mm-hmm. We tell you, instead of the traditional 20% down that all the other financial people tell you, we've never had to change our rule. We've said this is a dirty little secret of personal finances. Most people on their first home, to get on the home ownership train, only put down 3 to 5%. Mm-hmm. I did that. I think Bo did same. Somewhere around there. So that now, second home, when you upgrade, when you go to a nicer home, you got to put down 20%, because then you hopefully getting some of that home equity is going to roll into the new house upgrade purchase. But here's the second thing. I want you to put on those 3D glasses. Is because there's shades of how strong your situation is. It's because there's a lot of good jobs out there that there's probably a 70 to 80% chance you're going to get a lot of those bonuses. Mm-hmm. You know it's just built into your compensation structure so that you have skin in the game to keep you motivated, but you're going to probably get, that bonus is going to be paid out because it's just how your compensation is structured. But only you are going to know that answer. So how do we bridge to know what the right answer is? And that's why I love the 3D glasses, is because it lets you do a plan where you're doing 3 separate plans. Remember, I've just gone over this, is that the first D is that dream plan. This is where you hit all your bonuses, you keep getting the promotions, everything's rocking and rolling just like you had planned. This thing is smooth operating. Then you've got the down-to-earth plan. This is what you think is going to happen, where maybe you get a bonus one year, but maybe next year or 2 years you didn't get the bonus. You've got a plan for the down-to-earth plan as well. And then don't skip the doo-doo plan. Mm-hmm. That's the third one. That's the one where everything goes wrong, where maybe you're in a sustained period where things didn't work out. And then I want you to look at yourself and ask yourself these questions. Am I willing to do the extra work to survive the doo-doo plan? Because maybe this means one of you is going to be doing deliveries for Uber Eats. Yeah. Or maybe you're driving around 11 o'clock in Nashville to give all the drunk people rides home through Uber. I mean, there's things that you can do. You either have to spend less, you have to make more. Well, if you're taking on more expenses, you can't spend less, so you have to go make more. What are you going to do? And if it doesn't work when you look at the doo-doo plan, then you've got to make a bigger or maybe a different decision. I just don't want you to skip the steps, because I hate just saying, don't be so tight that you don't make a chance, when there's probably a 70 to 80% chance that you're going to be okay and it's going to work. I don't want you to not make a decision and be frozen. I'm just saying, address it, look it in the eye, and make sure you have a plan, and then you can feel more comfortable about the situation.
That's great.